Well, hello, friends and neighbors. John, your Whisky neighbor here. Welcome to the Nook. Welcome to Sunday. As I try to do, if I can find the time, I'm going to shoot some samples here. And yesterday was International Scotch Day, so let's stay with Scotch. Today I have two mystery samples, 15-year, 25-year. They actually came to me from a good friend at Whisky Drop, and he poured these to say, let's talk about Cadenhead Enigma. So Cadenhead, independent bottler, and they've got this 15-year-old, which is all blended malt, so just malts in there, and then a 25-year-old, which is blended Scotch, so we're going to have some grains in there. And I just want to say right off the top, I was talking a lot when he was pouring these, and I'm worried, seriously worried, that I have messed up the labels. So this is so blind. I have no idea what's in here. Why don't you pour some Scotch of any kind? And let's relax and just sip it together. Have a good time. See you in a bit. 3, 4. Thank you for coming back. And as I said, I'm so worried that I'm going to totally get this so wrong because my notes won't match other people's experiences and only because I've mixed up the bottles. But let's get into this. You know, Cadenhead, I think, does a great job as an independent bottler, sourcing, holding back, blending. It's so awesome, actually, the stock they can get a hold of and then the creativity they can have. If I have not mixed up these samples, the first one is a 15-year-old, and I'll put the details below. I feel like it was on, was it 48% or 44%? I think 48, somewhere around there. And it is, according to online, it's very likely two malts going in, Hazelburn and Kilkerran. Those are fantastic Campbelltown malts. The Kilkerran is a 16-year-old, the Hazelburn triple distilled 15-year-old. If that's the case, I'm definitely excited on this. And I think just ex-bourbon. So that would be pretty cool. What could be the 15-year-old Cadenhead Enigma? Let's just see what I get. Lots of fruit. Tropical fruit, pineapple, mango. Maybe mango's a stretch. Fruity, full, and definitely some pineapple kicking around. Let's try it on the palate. Sláinte. Okay, the palate has kind of changed a little bit. It's still got some really nice oils and some nice fruits and still pushing into that, very ripe tropical notes. But I'm getting a little ginger, a little orange, a little lemon zest, some ginger snap cookie spices, some sugars. It's a little grainy, which makes me worried because I know the 25 is a blended Scotch, so it's got grain. This is just malt. There's a little grain kicking around. But boy, it's really quite good. And a fair amount of orange zest or lemon zest going on like that. You know, when you press an orange and you wipe your glass, that kind of essence of citrus oil. I guess I better try another sip. Not that these samples are deep. Sláinte. That's tasty. And I could see that as Springbank, and with that I mean it's got a little bit of funk, but not a lot. And I know Hazelburn's got no peat in it at all, and Kilkerran's got whiffs of it, but it's got a little bit of hardiness to it. I'm going to put it like that, a little bit of slight funk or fuel oil, but that could also be grain. Grain sometimes does that for me. Overall, I'm going to say the nose was really more ripe fruits, tropical fruits, almost luscious fruit, like that kind of thing. The nose was like, wow. And the palate was good, but it definitely gave it a bit more spice palate, a bit more breadth, which we would hope in a palate. So, it's pretty tasty. The finish is a little bit lackluster. 15-year-old Scotch, I'd like it to linger on and give me echoes of flavors of this. And I will say, of this particular dram, whatever's in here is a little a little kind of just finishes and doesn't give me certain fruits to come back to or oaks to come back to or that kind of lingering finish that I hope in most of my whiskey experience. On to what should be 10 more years of age. This sample's marked 25. And again, so thankful to Whisky Drop. They support the community in Edmonton. They're just really great at hosting events and bringing in just fantastic releases. This should be a 25-year-old blended Scotch. Again, Cadenhead's Enigma, so we don't know what's going on in here. And I did a little research and actually really couldn't find out. The 15 has that Hazelburn and Kilkerran, but this is grain and malt from I have no idea where. I think some of the better sources said, but all aged in ex-sherry butts. So hopefully I really get that note and then I know for sure this is the 25 versus the 15. But if this is the 25, it should have some grain and hopefully some more sherry notes in it. Let's dive in. If it's not part of suggestion, my nose is definitely saying we've got a little bit of raisin kicking on here. We've got a little bit of plum, got a little bit of red fruits. I'd be very comfortable saying these are labeled properly. This is an ex-sherry. Having said that, it also has some ripe fruit. Whereas this is tropical, this does have some overripe banana and then what I started in, which were some nice raisins and red fruits. Let's try it on the palate. Sláinte. Yep, that is very different than this. This is drying on the palate. Sorry, I kind of got into the finishes. I was trying to explain what I'm tasting. Very much raisin, dried raisins, sultana raisin, leather, drying on the palate. Slightly bitter, not bad, but just a little bit bitter. Thinner, not as luscious, not as round. Maybe oakier. Better try another sip while there's still a bit here. Okay, that one came back even slightly spicier. A slight soap note, if I may, just a little bit soapy. Not bad necessarily, but just a little bit of that. Now I'm getting a bit of white grape, which is interesting. I don't know where that would be coming from, but a little bit of white grape mixed in with those earlier red fruits, but also now because of the sourness or bitterness, I could also go into a lemon, but not like this round citrus, orange stuff going on. This is more a little sharp, a little peppery, a little spicy, and a little bit, sharp lemon sour, that kind of thing. Very interesting. And I didn't pause long enough. I took pictures of the bottles, had a great conversation, at Whisky Drop, but I didn't check the prices, and I should have, and maybe I will as I edit this video. For my palate right here, these are actually quite different, and if you could get a sample before buying, I would heartily recommend that because I find them very different. This has some really neat, kind of almost punchy flavors. I'm drawn to the roundness, the fullness, the juiciness of this 15-year-old. And it could also be that I do like malt. I can be good with old grain, and 25 years is old grain, and I've had younger grain. Even 15-year grain to me is starting to get some good flavors. So I'm not sure. Right now, though, my palate is liking this 15-year-old better, and if my flavor notes don't match yours or don't match what they describe, fair enough. I feel fairly confident that if the 25 is aged in ex-sherry, then this is indeed the ex-sherry, and that if the 15 indeed has some Springbank goodness in it, or Campbelltown, then my palate has aligned with those notes. Let me know what you think. I love the idea of Enigma. I love the idea of trying to guess what's going on, as long as we don't get too authoritative on those guesses. I'm sure I'm a lot more wrong than right, but these are my thoughts. Thanks for joining me here for these samples. Thanks again for Whisky Drop for giving them to me. And I hope you guys have a fantastic work week coming up. Take care.